Well, in some breaking news coming in this afternoon from Pakistan, the former Pakistan President Pervez Musharaf has been awarded a death sentence for high treason. The sentence has been given by a special court in Pakistan. This is the big breaking news coming in from Pakistan as we speak, and joining me to talk a little bit more about this is Anas Malik, Bureau Chief in Pakistan. And Anas, give us the details of this particular case. Massive verdict there to give death sentence to a former president. What more can you share at this point?
Absolutely, Bharvi. This case has been pursuing since December 2013. This act was done by Musharaf on the 3rd of November 2007. The case was lodged by the PMLN government, the former government, in 2013, that he indulged in high treason by abrogating the constitution on the 3rd of November in 2007 and imposing emergency in Pakistan. Now, a special court was constituted. It heard the case rigorously on 3 months regardless, and after that, it was due to announce the verdict on the 28th of November, but the state had pleaded to defer the verdict. The Islamabad High Court had ordered the special court that on ex-party basis. It was heard on the 5th of December, and then today as well, the Musharraf's lawyer was not able to satisfy the court, and the court said very clearly that since Musharraf has failed to produce himself, therefore they will go ahead and announce the verdict. The verdict majority is, since it was a three-member bench, special court of three judges, 2:1 is the verdict. The ratio of the verdict is 2 judges were in favor of the fact that he should be punished, and they have sentenced him to death. He's been awarded death sentence in high treason case for indulging in the abrogation of the constitution of Pakistan on the 3rd of November 2007. Yes, Bharvi.
All right. So now, just to put this in perspective, now Pervez Musharaf, of course, doesn't live in Pakistan. He is in Dubai. So how does it really affect him? Is there an extradition treaty with Dubai? How does this pan out?
Well, Pakistan does not have an extradition treaty with Dubai, but something that has to be taken into consideration that the Pakistani Federal Cabinet recently amended the Pakistani law, which says that in the cases of extradition, death penalty or capital punishment would not be applicable. Pervez Musharaf, the former military dictator, is currently in the hospital in Dubai. He is currently under treatment. So Pakistan would have, he has the right to appeal in the higher court, that is the Supreme Court, that is within 30 days from this judgment. And if he fails to appeal in the Supreme Court within 30 days, then the government can proceed through legal channels, and that is through the diplomatic channels to extradite Musharraf. We've seen in the past that criminals of different nature have been extradited and repatriated back to Pakistan, but those were different cases. In Musharraf's particular case, we've seen that he had been seeking refuge in the UAE. He's had a legal travel document as well. So in the case of Musharraf, it would be very interesting as to what the government's strategy would be. Yes,
right. And Anas, then the question, of course, emerges, what is the intent of this government? How serious are they in pursuing this case with another country to bring back, as you said, an ailing Musharraf who is currently in hospital?
Well, in the intent of the government is, if you talk about the government's intent, it is not visible at all. Because remember, on the 28th of November, just last month, when the Islamabad High Court verdict came, it was the government who went to ask for the deferring of the verdict and the adjournment of the verdict that was initially supposed to be announced on the 28th of November. This government particularly does not seem very, very keen on pursuing the trial of Musharraf or any, for that matter, or for any dictator that has to do with some historical lineage as well, given Imran Khan's history with Pervez Musharraf as well back in 2002, when Musharraf had offered Imran Khan to be the prime minister during his time when he had an assembly back then. So by and large, the common impression is that the government would not be pursuing the case as much as it had been done previously in the PMLN time. Remember, this case was lodged in December 2013. Musharraf was indicted on the 31st of March 2014, and then since then that case had not been pursued very much. But in 2015, Musharraf went to an inter-court appeal and flew abroad. He was placed on the exit control list. The court had ordered, the inter-court had ordered that he should be put off the exit record list because he was seeking treatment abroad. And since then, Musharaf has not returned. So there are a lot of question marks when it comes to how this case will be pursued. But one thing that is for sure, that the government, this current government of Imran Khan, is not very keen on pursuing this case. Yes, there is.
Right, absolutely. And Anas, of course, this court then now, this verdict can be reappealed, as you rightly said, in a higher court, that is either the High Court of Islamabad or the Supreme Court of Pakistan. What is the legal process here involved for an appeal for Musharaf and his lawyers?
Well, just a correction, since this was a special court that was constituted of High Court judges and on orders of the Supreme Court, so the only forum where this can be appealed is the Supreme Court itself within a span of 30 days. That right to appeal of 30 days is given to any convict or anyone who has been punished within 30 days as per law in Pakistan. So in all likelihood, we're expecting that Musharaf or his lawyers might just be appealing to the Supreme Court. And if in 30 days they fail to appeal against this judgment to the Supreme Court, then the government is lawfully binded to pursue the case of extradition and ensure that Musharaf comes back to Pakistan by hook or by crook. That is the law. That is what the law says, and then ensure that justice is done. Okay.
Right, and of course, this is clearly ironic because Musharaf, of course, being sentenced to death. There is Nawaz Sharif, who has already been prosecuted in a corruption case, and there's Mr. Zardari also been prosecuted. So it seems that in the past few years, it's either the courts or the political class, the current dispensation, that is certainly going after all the former leadership in Pakistan.
Well, Nawaz Sharif, the former Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif's case is an exceptional case because he came back from London. He left his ailing wife, who is now no more in this world, Kulthum Nawaz, and came back to Pakistan to face his trial and then subsequently his punishment as well. We don't have such an example in Pakistani history where anybody who's been abroad and they left that life and then came back to Pakistan to face the trial and then subsequently their punishment as well. In the case of the former President Zardari, we're yet to see him being indicted in the case. He has been arrested. He's currently on bail as he speaks. He's also sick, but he's currently on bail as he speaks. Having said that, there's a common impression in Pakistan